Yeah, welcome to another episode of Spot On Podcast. We got in here, Travelers Rest Cigar Lounge. I have my drink with me today. I have my Nicaraguan cigar I can smoke later on. And we get Camp Road finest in the building. Mr. Jimmy Mackey. Basketball, father, entrepreneur. I just learned car wash guy, everything. Jimmy Mackey. Photographer, the whole nine. Welcome to Spot On, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me, man.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. I know you personally, but tell everybody who don't know you. Because you get plenty letters behind your name after the Mackey.
So, I can go way back.
You go way back,
Born
man.
and raised Camp Road, main Camp Road, Strong's Alley, if they want to really know. Played basketball pretty much all through high school, collegiate, and then professional in Europe for a while. After that, moved back to the States, did my certification, got some more education.
Pause right there. Let's go back.
Right.
You played European and college.
Right.
Never NBA.
No.
You ever tried out?
Yeah.
Which
it's a process. A lot of people don't know it's a process to get to that level.
Right.
Of course, you have to seek an agent in the beginning. And depends on the agency. Some of them, they're really good. Some of them, they kind of be like, whatever.
Right.
A lot of them have up to 50, 100 players. So, you could kind of get lost in the mix. But, did some trials, got some good looks. But, everything is timing. And I think my timing just wasn't good at that point.
All right. Mm-hmm. So you come home.
Yeah.
Where the club went?
Actually, when I first moved home, my first job moving back home, I was actually at the casino.
The casino.
So I was a security in the casino.
Yes,
Atlantis,
I remember.
Right.
I remember.
I started out there. Few months in, got bumped up into the supervisor role. Working there for a minute. Met a lot of people. Got a lot of opportunities. Kind of presented to me being in that business. I think a lot of it was, having a customer service background.
Right.
Being personable with people when they come in as guests. And working those night shifts, long hours, kind of got tired of it and then wanted something different. Me, I was always a fitness guy, always working out.
Unlike me. But yeah.
Yeah. So I left Atlantis and then I went to work to Club One. But I started out as the front desk clerk.
But you in the best shape of your life.
Right.
Right? Still jumping out the gym.
Right.
Still get a red jumper. Still play ball.
Right.
And you working in the gym.
Yeah.
At that time, one of the best gyms at that time in the country.
Correct.
And you working at the front desk.
Yeah.
All your training, everything you did as a basketball player.
Right.
Strength training, physical training, all these other things.
Right.
You wasn't certified
Correct.
to do those things.
Right.
But you get to do it.
Yeah.
But you wasn't certified.
Correct.
So you couldn't train nobody.
Yeah. And that was one of the requirements working there. At the time when I worked there, Yolanda was the GM, the general manager.
Right.
And she said, in order for me to get on the floor training clients, I'd have to be certified.
Right.
So immediately I went in and, went in my pocket and, did the certification, failed the first test. And then immediately went and did the second test and I passed by a hair.
All right.
By a hair.
This is a part of the story people don't know.
Right.
This is part of the story people don't know.
Yeah,
So you wasn't always a trainer.
No.
You was working at the front desk and you failed the first time.
Yeah.
Like those things are important, because everybody think you wake up in today's society and there's a microwave, everything happens overnight.
Right.
But this is a true story of succession. And you continue to tell the story, you realize how long you've come.
Yeah. I could go back to even like in high school, like I had terrible grades. Like up to till about grade 10, I used to be probably average or 1.5.
Yeah.
Seriously, like a 1.5. Like
you was into what kind
I just didn't care about
Yeah.
school, At the time it was, and my point in my life was, I used to work on the jet skis of Paradise Island. I remember growing up.
Yeah,
right?
real Camp Road.
Camp
Road
and
native.
Then, the Montague ramp, used to go there clean fish for tips or whatever.
Yeah.
So I kind of went through that route.
All right.
Growing up. And that hustle kind of just stuck with me everywhere I went after that. So it was easy for me to survive anywhere.
Right. Yeah. All right. There's no real structure. on Spot On.
Right.
I all about the place.
Right.
So because I know you, I'll ask you this. What effect or what impact did Bill Morgan have on your life? And tell us who Bill Morgan is.
Yeah, so Bill Morgan, Mr. Morgan, aka, C.I. Gibson's first basketball senior coach.
Right.
The first, and he was probably one of the best.
In my opinion.
He was Canadian, of course,
Right.
and he taught us, what was it? What subject was he taught?
I never
One of
had him-
those
I
science
never had him as a
classes.
teacher.
He taught one of those classes, and that's who really got me into playing basketball. It was him, and then of course Leroy, aka
Right.
Zoggy.
Soggy. God rest his soul.
So that's who kind of led me into playing basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Morgan was one of those guys where, he was a coach.
Right.
He was a teacher.
He coached volleyball. But
Yeah. So
yeah.
he was a volleyball coach. He was all of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he kind of stirred me away from staying home or working on a jet ski
Right.
or whatever. He was like, hey man, come to school. You got a talent. You're athletic.
Right.
Why not try to use it? Stay in school and do what you're supposed to do. And that's what kind of got me into playing sports. I was like around grade 9, going into grade 10.
Right.
So I was a late starter. I was a late
Right.
bloomer in sports.
Right.
A lot of people don't know, I literally didn't get a full scholarship or any offers when I finished high school.
Right.
Did not.
And what college you went to?
My first school was Langston University.
Langston.
It was an NAI Division I school in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
The only historic black college in the state of Oklahoma.
Wow.
Right. So my freshman year, I did 1 year there, and they sucked. Literally, we sucked that year. We won 4 games that year.
You wasn't no major back on that team.
Yeah. So
You needed help. LeBron, a la LeBron.
I got so one of my homeboys who went to Tabernacle, because I spent my senior year in Freeport, right? Just 1 year. And one of my guys, he used to come home in the summer. He was a senior at the Masters College, which was in California.
Okay.
And so happens they was recruiting, and I got an offer to go and play for the coach at the time, who was best friends with John Wooden.
Okay.
Of course, John Wooden, if you don't know NCAA basketball, he is the legend of all legends in college basketball, and they were best friends.
All right.
And of course, he coached at UCLA, if people don't know that.
Right.
But just to show you that the fundamentals I learned from the coach transferring to that school, it kind of took me being an athlete to now a basketball player.
Right.
Learn how to shoot, how to dribble. Because, the system here in the Bahamas is like, just run up and down.
No, there's no really no structure.
Yeah.
So, like, you, at the time, say you in grade, you probably 6'3", and you was a center.
Right.
When you go off 6'3", the
Shooting guard.
best shooter is a guard.
Right.
No way you could play down in the blocks.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So a lot of it was based on just my athleticism that really got me to where I was in the sport of basketball. So that whole road was kind of like, bumps and bruises. Why the bumps and bruises? Because, having a system,
Right.
like I'm in business now, having a system, going through a system, you get more clarity, you have more guidance.
Right.
But when you just kind of winging it and necking it, then you make a whole lot of mistakes because you don't know how.
Right.
And that's kind of the road that, for me, it was like everything was learning. So it was, along the way, it was like I was developing a lot of experience in the process.
Because coming from Camp Road.
Right.
Right. I think we mentioned this on the other podcast. I call it the stepchild of the Bahamas. Mm-hmm. Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Right.
I think they help groom you for your college years.
Right.
Not taking anything from Nassau.
Right.
Based on what I call on this show, my street knowledge.
Right.
Freeport programs are a little bit more structured because I feel like they have a closer proximity to the United States, so they use what they have to their advantage to help develop some of their leagues. So you could speak on that if I'm missing it or if I spot on.
Yeah. I think at the time when I played, you never heard of a lot of guys going to college and playing college basketball.
Right.
I mean, you had a few. You had a few who was really good. They got the opportunity. I think when I went to Freeport, it was an eye-opener.
Right.
Like, literally, all those guys did was play basketball every day.
Right.
Wake up in the morning at 5 a.m., practice. Go to school, because the principal is the coach, the principal,
Norris.
the everything. Yeah,
Norris,
Mr.
right.
Bean.
Norris Bean.
So we go to, and then after practice, everybody wants to stay in the gym. Gym rats, just straight gym rats.
Right.
Working out, lifting weights, playing ball, playing night league. I mean, everything was just basketball.
Put you on the spot. Butler or Norris
Butler.
from Sir Jack, the coach?
I'm Mr. Bean.
Better coach? Better coach?
Yeah, but let me put it like this: I haven't experienced coaching under him, being coached under him. So based on what I see on the court,
right?
That's what I base that on. Yeah.
Moon McPhee or Norris Bean?
What's the Moon? That's the legend, man.
You gotta go against Moon. And in the blood, you see what his daughter doing?
Mr. Mackey is a legend, man.
Oh,
He's a legend.
man.
He's a legend of all legends.
That's good, man.
I can't argue that one.
So, last podcast we had, we talked baseball, and we're going to get into your entrepreneurship and your fatherhood role and your photography and stuff. But being somebody that started off in basketball,
right?
What do you think the future for basketball is in this country? One, and what you think needs to happen for us to continue to grow? Because what you mentioned is you were able to adjust and do things and fit in
Right.
to programs based on pure athleticism.
Right.
That's what we have.
Right.
In your case, high-iron coordination from scaling fish,
Right.
running up and down, chasing jet skis for endurance,
Yeah.
and just living in the inner city. And we know what it is, no secret, running from fights, running to fights,
Right.
throwing rocks, throwing bottles,
Yeah.
all those things we did.
Right.
Right? All those things, somehow or the other, is some type of sporting activity,
Yeah.
and it helped groom us
You're right.
for whatever we wanted to do.
Right.
So we are naturally gifted and naturally athletic.
Yes.
What do you think? Where do you think basketball should go, and what do you think it should happen for it to get there?
I mean, I think based on my experience being on a national team, traveling with high school teams, going to college, playing in Europe, just seeing everybody's system, because everybody has a system. You know, you have, of course, the AAU all the way. I mean, even the YMCA.
Right.
So you go from YMCA to AAU to high school to middle school. Middle school all the way through college and then the pros.
Right.
In Europe is the same thing. They have a system where the kids start from here
Right.
all the way up.
But
Every club,
some of their pros started at a younger age. in Europe.
every club within every country have their own club teams.
Okay.
They even have so you have soccer, basketball, whatever sports available in that country, they have it to the professional level.
All right.
And what they do is they groom these kids until they get older and older and older, and they just fit right in to the national team. So they are committed to their national teams. They're not paid at all.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're not paid.
even in the United States, they're not paid.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's
they
just a love
get
for the
they get
country.
some things, some stipends or whatever, but nobody's paid. It's for the love of your country. I think what's going to have to happen is we have to create systems.
Right.
We don't have systems. We don't have a foundation. Based on what I'm seeing and what I've been through,
Right.
we don't have a foundation. I think the association or whoever's in charge, they need to look at the foundation of basketball in the country.
Right.
Because if we can't groom them from 5, 6-year-old all the way up, it's a losing battle based on whatever experience.
Right.
Being
In
able
order
to
to
go,
be competitive within the world now.
because if I'm going to college as a freshman, right, it's all athleticism. I had a 42-inch vertical.
Right.
And when a coach could tell me, scream out in the middle of a game, do not shoot my basketball, that's how bad it was.
Right.
Until I developed as time went on. I think a lot of it is just based on politics. We need to get the politics out of basketball. Sports, period.
Period.
Right?
I agree.
But
Right.
it's experience, it's exposure. The people who are in these positions, they need to have experience and exposure.
Right.
And education.
And education.
It's not just, I played basketball, so I know how to coach basketball.
Right.
It doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
You know, at the elite level, you got to have certain credentials under your name. You have to have certain hours and time you put in to develop a program.
Right.
Like, I see they bring in foreign coaches to coach our national team. That shouldn't happen. that should never happen because we should already have a handful of guys who are coaching and spending money and sending them to get this education.
It's funny you said that. I always like to revert, right? So I revert to our last podcast. We talked about we talk about making coaching profession in the Bahamas.
Yep.
For every sport.
For every
So
sport.
the Ministry of Sports, and you can get your takes out a stipend or put some funds on the side. And this $1 million is for
development. Yeah.
So you have a soccer coach, a national soccer coach.
Yep.
That's gonna have people underneath them that can, like you say, grow them from a foundation. So each sport has coaches, and it's a profession. So that's all they do. They study, they go, they get the training that they need.
Right.
They go to all these not expos, what they call them?
Clinics, events.
Clinics. Go all these clinics, go all these stuff to learn, to keep up with the world.
The trend, right.
We have what? Buddy Hill, DeAndre Ayton, who else? We have Jonquel Jones. Who else playing basketball? We had Magnum.
Kyle, what's his name? The young kid came from Texas. He plays for
Kai Jones.
Kai.
So we have three BMing guys in the NBA. We have Jonquel Jones just taking over women basketball.
Right.
And then we have other BMing guys. I don't know everybody's name that's playing in the Europe League.
Europe, right? Top leagues.
But in order for us to develop more players to get into the NBA, which is very hard, or to get into Europe leagues and make a major impact, I agree with you. You have to start from foundation.
From ground up.
And we don't have it. So if you had, let's say hypothetically, if you had the training that you needed from 11 and not 15, it wouldn't have been hard for an agent to hold on to you. You'd have had been salivating over you.
Yes.
You understand? Because you had more training, your foundation is stronger, your skill set is different because now I know as your coach, hey, the tallest you can get is 6'3".
Right.
What you playing here, you're not going to be playing power forward or center. I don't care how big you are than everybody else. You're going to play the wing, and you're going to distribute my ball, and you're going to learn what you need to learn in order to excel, to move forward. I am not going to use you to my advantage. I'm going to use you for your advantage, so you'll know. But like you say, in order for me to know that, I need to have the education background. I gotta go to the clinics. I gotta put it in the work, and I can't be going to sit behind the computer to the bank, or work in a hotel,
or go on YouTube,
and then get off at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and then try to put it in this work on my own. It can only go so far.
So far, yeah, I agree.
So in order for us to continue to build this sport, you say we need foundation. We need organization. And we need to put the right people in the right place.
The right people. And that's what it takes. That's the foundation for anything we do in life. A family at home, a business, anything. If you don't have the right foundation and the right people in place, it's a failure.
Let's talk about your business. You said business.
Right.
So, like I said, we all over the place. So you went to Mark Fit to Club One.
Right.
You did what was necessary to get you to where you needed to be. And I feel, based on my street knowledge, that you outgrew Club One. You felt like, listen, there's more to life than this. I am very appreciative for what I've learned and the opportunities that this company has garnered to me. But now it's time for me to bet on me.
To move on,
How did that feel? How was that conversation with yourself when you decided that you were going to bet on Jimmy Mackey? A young man from Camp Road that didn't know where his future was going to take him, that everybody else believed in, and sometimes you doubted yourself, and you say to yourself, listen, what they see in me that I don't see in myself. What was the conversation like when you decided that I could bet on me now?
I think when I moved back to Club One, and at the time, I was still kind of shaky with, settling down at home or whatever. So I reached out to my peoples in California. And at the time, they had an...
You would never take me to Cali, by the way. I see you always on the blade. I have a visa, bro. I can travel the world, I see you gone away. Yesterday, I say, hey, all you want to do is go and wear shorts and nice tennis. That's fine. I won't do the same thing. But anyway, carry on.
So I got a assistant coach job offered to me to coach at varsity girls basketball. In Temecula Valley, California. That's like 45 minutes outside of San Diego. So my wife at the time, working at Atlanta, she was a manager and whatever. Been in there for about 5, 6, 7 years. She had a retirement, all this stuff going on. And I was like, yo, I got a job. So I called 24-hour fitness. They was hiring. So it's literally all in the same area. And the personal training manager at the time interviewed me over the phone. He's like, hey, send me your resume. So I sent him my resume, and he was like, yo, you got the job. Like, he hired me on the phone. He was like, we just need you to come in and just speak with the GM, and then you're all good. So everybody packed up, and we moved out. Like, no kind of security, nothing. We just packed up and left.
Hold on, let me understand. But you could work in the States.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why. Because I ready to interview for a job, pack up and leave now, but I will make sure you're making it sound so easy.
No, it ain't that easy.
Right, but you have the credentials it is to work within the United States.
Right, and especially if you're going to work to a school, they do a thorough background check on you. So I got the job, got the position or whatever. So I was just doing personal training at 24-hour fitness. Now, the coaches at those schools, they get a stipend.
Right.
It's not a contract where you're getting this amount. No, it's a stipend. Only a few $1,000s for the whole season.
Right.
So, got a little coaching experience under my belt. Never coached women basketball ever again.
Right.
Well, varsity that is. And
varsity, for those of those, high school.
High school, yeah.
High school. So that's like grade 10 to 12.
Right. And so working at 24-hour fitness, training, I would go on the floor, like, my style of training.
Right.
Like, I'll be training clients like that, and then people be looking at me like, what are you doing over there? Right. Using the ropes and all these different things. At the time, it wasn't common.
It is working, though. I was working for me until I stopped. I was doing so good. And then Christmas hit, and now it's it. I make it back. But all right. So it does work. I've been there. This is not a product of him, but I got some bitches. I was doing all right.
So that style of training, people, kind of drew into it.
CC.
And that's when it was like, well, I'm moving home, and I'm going to do my own thing. And that's when I knew. And then when I moved home, I started on Malcolm Park.
Right.
I started with 6 people training, using ropes and TRX and medicine ball and kettlebells. And then before people started using them things.
And the speaker box.
And the speaker box. You know what it is.
Yeah.
And
I get 9. I tried.
So it started there. Did that for about, a year. And then opened up my first studio, East Street South. And then while that was open, I opened up one in the old Fort Bay Shopping Plaza. Right. And I saw the potential for growth. I saw that people wanted the product or they wanted that service. And ever since then, everything just kept going.
So what happened with Old Fort Bay? So you had East Street South.
Right.
Which was, I've never visited that particular establishment.
Right.
I've visited Old Fort Bay when you was there. I visited, you had one in Airport Industrial Park.
Yep.
So what happened? Why did you close Old Fort Bay?
My contract was up, my lease was up.
Lease was up.
Every 2 years, and they went up on the rate, on the rent. So at the time, a client who's they own, of course, the boutique style resort, the Island House.
Okay.
And we formed a partnership.
I forget. You've been
we,
all over the place.
We formed a partnership.
Yeah. So the Island House for a minute.
Yeah. So it was like I was exposed to a lot of clients and a lot of potential. And after my 2-year lease was up, we sat and we talked. Hey, let's form a partnership. So I moved into the Island House. I think I did a year there. And then I was starting to look at the environment. I was like, this is not my style. This is not my energy.
Right.
So once I gave them about a year and a half, I started looking for a bigger space because I know if I go in another space, it has to be what I wanted.
Right.
And then that's when I moved into AIP.
Right.
And then being in AIP for about, a year and a half, and then COVID came. But then we had Harbor Bay. Right. Harbor Bay was the first big gym.
Right.
And that was only 8,000 square feet.
8,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Let's not get to the months yet.
Right.
Let's not get to the months yet. So, you've been personal training and full-on entrepreneur from, what year would you say? What year would that be?
We started, East Street South was 2013.
2013.
But I've been doing personal training since 2000, certified, 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
So, sorry, my phone keep ringing. So 2012.
Right.
Now 10 years. 10 years.
Right.
What would you say to, before we talk about the monster,
Right.
what would you say to young Jimmy?
Right.
You what, 40, if you don't mind, 42?
42, yeah.
42. What would you say to 22-year-old Jimmy?
Yeah.
Now, if you're sitting here, if I 22-year-old Jimmy,
Right.
still playing ball in the best shape of my life and
Right.
think that ball is
It was it.
my future,
Right.
what would you say to him right now?
But the first thing I would say to him was stop and pick up a trade. Like educate yourself on something so you can fall back on it. Because see, what happens is a lot of athletes,
Tunnel vision?
everything is a moment.
Right.
Being an athlete is a short moment. People don't understand that.
Right.
No matter how good you are, right? And I think having a fallback plan is the most important thing when you're at that stage. When you're making a few dollars, you can invest.
Right.
But if you don't do that, you wait till you're done and the money and the well runs dry, then you back to normal life like everybody else.
Normal life like everybody else. So it's a
Yeah.
valid point. So 10 years in, so about 2 years, the monster been around, what, 2 years?
3.
The monster been around 3 years.
3 years.
So in year 7, you don't take a leap of faith. You take, I don't even know what you call it. You decide. I remember we was riding. Somehow we was together, and you showed me this. We was talking. You say,
Right.
I put in the gym right there. And I was like, this boy can't be serious. And he said, yeah, but I put in the gym right there.
Yeah.
I said, but there's nothing there. There's nothing in this area
Right.
besides the movies was about a
Right.
block away,
Right.
and the hotel was a block the other way.
Right.
That's just vacant land. And you take a leap. I want to find a word bigger than faith, but I don't think it's nothing bigger than faith. You take a leap of faith,
Right.
and you open a monstrosity of, I wouldn't even say a gym, of a
Right.
fitness epidemic. If that's even the way to describe it.
Right.
I've been in that gym, and there's nothing that gym is lacking.
Right.
There's nothing it is lacking. You have coaches and or personal trainers
Right.
that can do any and everything.
Yep.
I haven't been to this class, but the Caucasian gentleman with the beard
Yeah.
that does
Tyler.
that does the body weight thing.
Yeah, right.
I trying to get a number right now so I can come deal with that because I really want to experience that.
Yes, yeah.
Because it looks like he takes your body into a whole nother realm.
Right.
But explain us this monstrosity of a building that you have on Bahama Boulevard. You have
Right.
swimming pools.
Right.
You have outdoor fitness. You have indoor fitness. You have.
Right.
I've been to LA Fitness.
Right.
I've been to 24-hour fitness. I've been to almost 3 or 4 gyms in the United States.
Right.
And 4 of them put together don't have the equipment
Right.
and the facility that you have.
Right.
Where did you get the idea from? And what was behind that?
Yeah.
Everything is branded.
Right.
And for those that don't know, like you see this black and red and the red in his pants, this is him. He is meticulous in every way. He walks around the gym and he puts the barbells up and the logos gotta match and everything has to be clean and you can't find any napkins on the floor.
Right.
And he even bolts down the benches because us Bahamians don't know how to put things back.
Gym etiquette.
Right.
Yeah.
What was behind that? Like what was your motivation to take that leap to open such a facility? Because it's not the average. You have
Right.
about 3. If you take, and this is not to discredit anybody else, but if you take 3 or 4
Right.
of the best facilities outside of
island.
your one, right, or on an island, they could fit in your in one of your locations.
Yeah. I think a lot of it is based on experience. Every time I travel, I have to find a gym. That's the first thing I look for is a gym when I travel.
You don't take a break?
No.
Like you don't enjoy life?
A little break.
You don't drink? You don't eat? You don't smoke? What do you do? You just work?
I enjoy life, man. But I think it's just when I travel, I like to go to the best gym in that area, and I like to see what they doing, what they have, what
So how do you
equipment.
know what's the best gym in that area? Based on what? What? You're like,
Rating.
Airbnb is to tell you this room costs this room costs that.
Yeah.
So that's how you, that's how you determine what's the best. So it's the same thing with the gyms. It's
Yeah.
all based on pricing.
Right.
The more expensive gyms are
Yeah,
Best
and I
gyms.
like to go to the best gyms, what they call the best gyms.
Do you have the pay? Or
Yeah,
do you
yeah.
say, hey, listen, I used to
Unless I know
from-
somebody
from
in that
Markfit.
area.
the biggest gym in this part of the region.
But see, the thing is, and that's the thing, I go in and whatever they say their day pass is, I pay it, and I don't question nothing. I go in and I look and I see, and if it's something I like, then I want to add it to what I do already.
So you take pictures, you write notes, or just mentally remember?
Mental. It's all mental. It's all mental. I think based on my training, because I train a lot of athletes too.
Right.
And based on the facilities I go to where these pro athletes train,
Right.
these are the places I like to go.
You visit
And I like to see
You visit I am athlete facility yet?
IMG.
I am athlete facility.
Not yet. But I saw
We
a
could go.
walkthrough.
I won't go, man.
Right.
I can put on one waist
That's
nipple or something.
Brandon
Marshall.
Marshall.
Yeah.
He actually, when I was training Julio, he actually DM'd me.
Yeah.
Was like, man, I love your facility.
But why they don't DM me?
So I was like, okay.
I've been in the gym.
But I already knew about this facility
Yeah.
before then because I research.
Right.
I like to see what's going on, where people training, what
Yeah.
they doing, how they doing it. So when these guys come here, it's not foreign to them. They already be like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, so when they come in, it just
It
automatically.
doesn't feel out of place. It's like,
But
okay, we looking for this, we looking for now, we got it here. Yeah.
So what do you? Boy, I don't even know. Like this, like for those that have not seen this,
Right.
this facility, you have everything.
Yeah,
you have
man.
sauna. You have the little ice, what do you call the ice?
Cryotherapy.
Cryotherapy.
Cryo?
Cryo?
Cryo, yeah.
Like crying, cryo.
yeah.
So what exactly does the cryotherapy do? And you have cryotherapy, you have saunas, and
Recovery room, recovery room, yeah.
Right, and then you have these things that
Normatec, compression, boost,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, them stuff.
Theragun and all that stuff.
all them there.
Yeah.
What's the machine that you use that goes with
Yeah.
like air? Right,
yeah,
like
so
compression.
that's the performance equipment. That's all controlled by air. It's weights, but it's air. So for an athlete who moves fast, it allows them to do these things without like normal cable machines where the weight snack and hit and slam.
Right.
You have that fluent movement throughout the whole range of motion with the athlete.
Wow. That's good, man.
Yeah.
I am impressed and I am honored to say that I know you.
Appreciate it.
To know that, you know what, when people, let's say people, when adolescents, teenagers get to grow up and they say, hey, listen, well, that gym
Right.
is a Bahamian-owned gym.
Yep.
You know, I could do this. It's not impossible for me.
Right.
And we need, and the thing about it is we need more forums to bring more light to situations like this.
Right.
A lot of people don't know you grew up Strong's Alley.
Right.
Let's be real. You don't even talk like you grew up Strong's Alley.
No.
But for those that know, Strong's Alley is the Camp Road or all Camp Road. It's one way in and maybe two ways out.
Right.
It depends on who you are. Because if we just try to go through the one-way road,
Right.
it's a problem.
Right.
But so let's talk about the facility a bit more. You have the swimming pool.
Right.
How big is the swimming pool?
So the swimming pool is literally a 25-meter, 6-lane pool, but it's actually FINA approved. FINA is the certifying body for aquatics in the Caribbean or the region.
So they can have nationals
So
there?
we can have short course competitive meets there.
But not nationals.
Right, no, not now. You
nationals
need a
is too long.
50 meter, yeah.
50 meters.
Yeah.
So why you ain't do 50 meters?
I don't have enough land at the time. At
At
the time, that's a lot of water,
that
man.
means you have, you know what I mean? So at the time, that means you have more.
Yeah,
you have
so
more land,
we
so
actually have
you got to add another 25?
we adding 2 full basketball courts.
So we talking about the pool first. You want to add no more?
No more. Yeah, that's a hefty bill.
That's a hefty belly.
Yeah, the heaters alone. that's
Heaters
a
in
hefty
the
bill.
pool?
Yeah, the pool is what, 82?
You have heaters in that?
Yeah, 82 degrees year round.
I been in that was cold, bro.
Yeah.
That's cold.
We just added 2 more heaters though.
All right, I got to try it
So the
again.
last time you been in there was how long ago?
About,
Yeah.
if you want to show, just look at my belly. Man. Oh, you have 2 kids.
2, yeah.
And your daughter swims.
Yeah,
How old is your-
competitively.
How old's your daughter?
She's 11.
11.
Yeah,
I have a
she's 11.
nephew. He's 7. He swims. He been
Right.
national team. Trey Campbell.
Right.
Shout out to my little good nephew. He's a swimmer boy.
That's
That's Eddie's son.
Eddie's son, all
He have
right.
flippers for feet. Yeah, man. His son, him and my son the same age.
Right.
But his feet bigger than my son. And not because Eddie bigger than me. But he has, he has flippers for feet. So he's pretty. And then you can see as you swim, your shoulders spread.
Yeah,
you know.
your back.
So yeah, so he
broad.
built. Yeah, he built. And when you stand up, you have chest. So yeah, man, you all right. You all right. So your daughter swims. So long she been swimming?
Literally from she was a baby.
When she was a baby.
Yeah, from she did her swimming lessons and she fell in love with it after that.
And that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good, man. She doing good too, though.
Yeah, man.
Congratulations to you and your wife.
Yeah.
I see she's student of the year?
Student of the year, primary school student of the year at St. Anne's. And now she's up for student of the year, Bahamas. Yeah.
Splendid. So the pressure on Lil Mark?
No, man, ain't no
pressure on Lil Mark. He ain't feel pressure?
See, for me, when I used to live in the States, I used to see the parents, how they treat their kids like they professional athletes.
Yeah.
And they drilling their kids and they putting them in camps and they doing all these different things. He's 6 now, he just turned 6. Me right now, I look at him as him being a kid.
Right.
Sports will have his time.
Yeah.
All these different things you drilling them with, it will have his time. So when his time comes, he'll be ready because, he kind of have lived a kid life and did things he want to do. And I'm not getting him up in the morning and say, we got to go dribble the ball. If you want to shoot it, then shoot it. If you don't want to play sports, that's fine. That's fine.
As competitive as you are.
Yeah.
You telling me, your son,
your
only son, if he don't want to play sports, you're good with that?
I'm good with that.
Not professionally, but like.
I'm good with that.
So you could go right to the auditorium and cheer as he spell words.
Yeah.
And you're good with that?
I'm good with that. Because see, at the end of the day, I'm trying to set him up to take over the business.
Right.
And not work for somebody.
But suppose he don't want to do that. Suppose he don't want to do that.
He better. Nah, just kidding.
So that's what I realized.
But my goal is to educate him.
Right.
On why he should take over the business and why he should not go work for somebody else. And if he could take over the business, he still could do whatever he want to do as being an entrepreneur.
Right.
Because I think, being around some Italians in a lot of different countries, these people, they stick together as family and they work for each other. They don't work for people.
Right.
And we need to teach our young kids growing up, especially if you have a business, take over the family business. If it's something you're passionate about doing, you can still do it, but at least you don't have to depend on somebody and telling you when to come to work and when to go.
Let's talk about generational wealth and consistency.
Yeah, exactly.
Wealth isn't always, when people say generational wealth, we think money.
Right.
It isn't always money. It's legacy. It's what you leave for your children, and what they leave for their children, and so forth and so on. And it's a good thing that you said that night. I respect that because what we do is, you've been to government school.
Right.
So the typical, and based on my street knowledge,
the
typical thing in school is like, listen, if you're not smart enough to be a lawyer or a doctor or accountant, then you go work to Atlantis, buy yourself a nice Honda, and have a decent apartment, and find a nice woman, have 1 or 2 children, and we live in the bohemian dream.
Right.
But it's so much more than that.
Way more.
To us. And as I get older and I, like you, meet people and interact with so many different professions.
Yep.
So many different things that you can do. Like, for example, I never knew about maritime.
Right.
And the money that they make. And the exposure that they have and the places that they travel. And I saw that somebody went to Dubai the other day, and in Dubai they have 2 female Bahamian pilots. It's like all these things that we have, like all these opportunities we have. We have Bahamians playing in the majors. We have Bahamians playing in the NFL. We have Bahamians playing in the NBA.
We're all over the place.
You have Bahamians playing in some soccer leagues. But it's so many different avenues, and so many different things that we can do. But it isn't taught to us.
Right.
I often tell this story when people invite me to talk to young people for whatever reason. Right? the first millionaire, or not, I assume he was a millionaire.
Right.
Because of the size of his house and the things he had.
Right.
He was worth plenty of money. I was 17. He lived on a hill in Twynham. You know what he did for a living? Clean yards.
See that?
In C.I. Gibson, horticulture is for who?
Yeah.
For slow children.
You're right, exactly.
So anybody who was slow, who they deem not punk smart,
Right.
they would throw them out in the dirt.
Yep.
And say, play in the dirt.
Right.
Or do this or do that. Sometimes
Yeah.
the teachers teach them things, sometimes they don't. Once again, this is my personal
Right.
experience.
Right.
But not knowing that landscaping and horticulture and agriculture is a full-on profession that you can make millions of dollars
Yep.
if done the
Done
right way.
Yeah.
But we don't do that as a society. The narrative leads us to believe that only the Creole folks
Right.
should work in the yard.
Right.
Only the Creole folks should do certain jobs, or the Jamaicans should do certain jobs, and
Right.
everything else is beneath us because we entitled. We ain't entitled to nothing.
Yep.
Everything you have, according to you, you work for.
Yep.
And everything I have, I work for.
Right.
I 38, you 42. We both live in the Western District in the gated community.
Right.
When we was 16, 17, we never thought this.
No. Not
never
even.
thought
Not
this.
even. Not even in close.
You married,
Right.
I married, I get 3 kids and 2 dogs. 3
Right,
dogs.
3 dogs.
You get what? 1 dog,
One.
2 kids? You know, but we living okay.
Right.
But we never thought this was like, okay, well, this is what it is for us.
Right. Right. I think what happens too is, not everybody is meant to be in a suit and tie. Some people are really good with their hands. Some people are good with, being able to speak and talk and make people feel a certain way. Some
Right.
people are just meant to be behind a door
Right.
and be on the computers, or some people are meant to be in a operating room.
Right.
I think what the parents today have to understand is we need to stop teaching our kids to be certain things
Right.
and let them follow their passions, but still preach a certain way to them while
Right.
they're kind of, trying to fall into their passion. I think for me, it was like single parent home. You know what I'm saying? My old man, a lot of people don't know, was a, drug addict, alcoholic,
Right.
and abusive.
Right.
I grew up in that environment.
Right.
I grew up around uncles with drugs and this and that. I mean, you from the streets too. We grew up in these environments.
And you said, and I often say this to people that I don't believe, and I don't register to the whole concept of I am a product of my environment.
no.
I don't believe in
No.
that. I say because after you reach a certain age,
Right.
you realize what is right,
Right.
what is wrong, and what direction I want to take.
Right.
So you now, okay, at 13 and 14, being around those things is a heavy influence.
Right.
Right? I live on the front road, and the back road of me was one of the biggest drug dealers I knew.
Right.
And I've seen things, and I've watched at that time the CID and DEA raid his house, and numbers of times we walk around the corner yards. At that time, we had T-top 280s
Right.
and Mustangs
Right,
and
right.
Ferraris and all these
300
things.
ZX.
ZX, right? So I used to, hey, little man can make $10.
Right.
Like, go clean tires and wipe
Yeah.
car off and get tip. But I never knew what it was. And that's looking at it and say, hey, listen, now, they live in, like,
Right,
this is a good
right.
life. I want a car like this.
Yeah.
But not tell, you sit down in the yard and you see the police telling you shush, and
Right.
they running through the backyard. Hey, listen, I don't want to do that.
Right.
I don't want to be nobody knocking on my door and all these things.
Yeah.
You have to say, okay, you know what? But that's the risk that you take to live like that. I willing to do it, or I ain't.
Right.
So when you reach a certain age, you have to differentiate what it
Everybody
is.
know it. Yeah.
So we have some people that can't differentiate, and sometimes it's not their fault that they can't, and
Right.
sometimes they choose not to.
Right.
But I don't believe and I don't subscribe, and you and I are both examples of products of our environment.
Right. Right.
My mom and I was working on our relationship. She left me when I was 11. I didn't see her anymore until I was 17.
Right.
So we don't have a good relationship. But, I am trying.
Right.
And I never knew my biological father until I was 23. And my step-parents raised me. So I've been through it.
Right.
So
Right.
once again, like I say, there's no
Yeah,
such thing as
yeah.
product of your environment. You have to decide within yourself, what am I going to do when I reach a certain age?
Right. Right.
And since we're talking about this, tell us a little bit about your family. Like, how long you been married,
Wait, listen.
stuff like that.
So I think when I met my wife was when everything changed.
Right. They say behind every successful man is a strong black woman.
it ain't even for the tube or none of that. Like literally when I met this woman, I was very unstable. Going here, moving there, going back here, back and forth, all over the place.
Right.
And one day I was home and her mom was taking me to work because we was living at her place for a minute until we found our place. I jump in the car. Me having this conversation, right? Because you know me growing up with my mom, we never had conversations.
Right.
It was never no hugs and kisses and I love you. So it was uncomfortable to have that
It was
conversation.
an unspoken, or that, hey, I know my mommy love me, but
Right.
it's not
So
spoken
it's like,
up,
turn
right?
the radio up and let's go where we going. And
Right.
she was like, you know, you unstable. And then I was like, I just didn't know how to receive it, but I listened. So I listened to what she was saying, and you know, it was so much facts in it because now I started to backtrack and was like, yeah, I'm all over the place. You know, we got to settle down.
Right.
And when I say settle down, meaning I gotta put my foot on the ground, be a man, and take up responsibilities, and that's to take care of my home
Right.
as a man, right? And that's how I was raised growing up.
Right.
So it was like when we had that conversation, I think a lot has changed after that because I had to like now figure out what's my next step. Because you know, at the time, my wife, we just moved back home again. You know, we have a 1-year-old at the time, so it was like, you know, we married, so you know, I got to do what I got to do.
Right.
So that's when I went to the hotel and worked security because I need to figure it out.
You need to provide. Right.
Yeah, I need to figure it out.
This basketball thing ain't working. This ain't
No,
cutting it. This ain't
basketball is dead then.
cutting it. Right. This ain't
But
cutting
see,
it.
the thing is, what I try to preach to young guys coming up, they think they're gonna get the big job right away.
Right.
A lot of them don't understand you have to work your way to the top. Stop thinking everything just gotta happen just like that.
Right.
I literally worked my way to the top.
Right. So, hard work pays off, says Jimmy Mackey. Living proof, walking proof.
Right.
Started as a security officer.
Yep.
Now I have two of the biggest, well-oiled, well-equipped gym, fitness centers. I won't say gym.
Right.
Fitness centers in the Bahamas.
In the Caribbean.
In the Caribbean.
Yeah.
You have a lot of talent when it comes to personal trainers
Right.
that work with you. I might go out on a limb and some of the other trainers may get mad at me, but that's fine. You have your right hand, Scotty.
Scotty, yeah.
Scotty Duwadi, the cassava lover. I promise you, Scotty, I promise I saw you my cassava recipe.
Right.
You love my cassava.
Yeah.
How do you attract, one, and two, how do you maintain these talents and these, I won't say egos, but personalities,
Right.
because everybody's on social media. You're not the fittest of the fit in your gym.
Right.
So how do you maintain, these trainers and say, listen, this, and how do you get them to buy in
Right.
to what you're selling?
Right. That's the biggest thing is the buy-in. I think for what they bring to the table, for example, Scotty played professional basketball for over 10, 11 years.
Right.
In the top level in France. Top level. Then we have Andrew.
Right.
Drew has been in every gym probably named in the world. So
Yeah.
he comes with experience, right? And then you have Tyler, who I literally bought in because we worked together.
Tyler the creator. That's called the creator.
Tyler the Creature.
The creature.
That's what we call him.
All right.
But we kind of met in 24-hour fitness in the U.S.
Right.
So we vibed from then. I think being able to put those guys under the same roof, their own personality, their own way of training, and just let them do their thing.
Right.
I think for me as a leader is to kind of make sure they stay within a certain guideline. Because, I spend a lot of money on education and mentorships and programs.
I've seen that. You take your members, you go away to these clinics and
Right.
and you expose them to all these things that you don't have. No clue.
Exactly. So I expose them to the biggest and the trending, what's in the industry from now until. And I
Right.
think when they see that, it kind of sparks more fuel for them to come back and do even a better job with their clients.
So that's on you. That's your cost.
Yeah.
You take them and you put them up.
Yeah.
And you pay for the clinics.
Yep.
And they just gotta take their little
I
spend the money.
expose them to everybody I know in the industry, whether it's a pro athlete trainer or just
Right.
gym owner or big time manager, whoever.
You ever had any of your trainers go off and get jobs overseas?
No. I think it's never happened. It's never happened. I think for the young up and comings, I think what's happening now is this word entrepreneurship has
Right.
been kind of putting a bump in a lot of people's business.
Right.
Which is fine, But I think what they have to understand is you have to learn the business first.
First.
Don't just try to learn it for 2 minutes and then be like, oh, I'm gonna do my own thing. It's always good to do your own thing.
Right.
But remember, sticking around and learning the ins and outs and all the intricacy of a business.
Right.
How to take money, how to receive this, how to clean, how to do this, how to order, how to, all of the things.
You can operate every facet of your business.
Every
you can make
facet.
shakes. You can make shakes?
Yeah, it's
All
a
right.
push of a button.
All right, this is shakes, right? So at Travelers Rest, they feed us.
Right.
We have some crock lobster and French fries. Now, don't go tell your personal trainer that I get you fat. I'm ready, you got something going on, y'all.
You got one life to live.
So we're gonna enjoy it.
Right.
So they treat us. So they treat us well. They treat us well right there. There ain't no fun in the cigar lounge if you don't smoke a cigar. So it's a Tempest, straight from Nicaragua. My good friend, yeah, he don't smoke. He's a fitness guy. His habit is lifting weights and staying in shape.
That's it.
My habit is eating and drinking and having a good time. But, to each his own. We gonna wrap up in a minute. Before we wrap up, Jimmy, I want to say, thank you. Taking the time out of your busy schedule. You probably get some person you could be training right now. A la Carlo.
Yeah.
But, I ain't almost as big as Biggie. But, give us some more food for thought. Like I say, we've established that you've married.
Right.
You run a successful business. And how long have you been married?
11 years.
11 years, 2 kids, a successful business. You have a story for the ages. You have a real come-up story.
Right.
You didn't have, didn't have a lot of opportunities at a younger age that some of other persons had.
Right.
So give us some food for thought. Tell us some stuff. Tell us some things that you think we should have. If you're talking to a 17-year-old, not even 17. 17, you don't know what you want to do.
Right.
The 24s and the 23s.
Right.
So you didn't do your 4 years of college and you're undecided.
Right.
When you just going to college because mommy say, boy, go to college. Now you have a degree that you don't want to use.
Right.
You're talented in other ways, like we mentioned earlier, by using your arts. But just give us some, like I say, food for thought. Give us some things, some inspirational stuff, some that ain't sound too generic,
Right.
but would make sense.
One of the biggest things I've learned growing up, and coming from your mom, your dad, your Grammy, them, is in life you have to approach it respectfully. And when I say respectfully, having manners.
Right.
I think being able to have a foundation, that foundation, fair for God, you know what I mean? Being able to walk in a room and say good morning, good night, good evening, thank you. All these different things, all of the basic things.
I'm going to cut you off, right?
Yeah.
So this is what I used to do. And I used to get in trouble for this.
Yeah.
My wife was around me.
Right.
So I tell her, I say, why would you do that? I say, because my Grammy taught me better.
Yeah.
I'll walk into the bank.
Right.
And I'll say, good afternoon.
To everybody.
Or good morning. And nobody see. Then I'll say something like, F your land. And everybody spin round. Like, but I was trying to be polite.
Right.
Y'all don't want reciprocate.
Yeah.
So let me show you what y'all think a young man. This is what y'all think we good for?
Right.
Come inside and be rude. Let me come inside and be rude.
Be rude.
Because I trying to be nice. I ain't saying it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Don't get it wrong.
Right.
But the fact that you say manners, that means we really grew up by old people.
Right.
People that show us manners takes you to the world, and I believe that.
Right.
But I think that what happens is the society gets so caught up and judgmental that they perceive or presume that we are who we aren't.
Right.
Just by the way we look.
Right.
Not knowing you.
Yeah.
See you walking in.
Yeah.
Dressed like this.
Yep.
Don't know you come to the bank to do business. You have a business that make.
And I also have flip-flops. So.
Right. So and understanding it's starting to change now because the world is starting to change. But back in the day, like certain things wasn't a lot. Like it's frowned upon. You wearing shorts, you wearing jeans and things, and hard-on backwards and this and that. So like, he from the hood or he this or he that, so whatever. So automatically, when they say good afternoon, they ain't even hear me because they didn't say he up to no good.
Right.
But I wanted to point it out. I'm glad that you said that.
Yeah.
Manners take you through the
Yeah,
world.
man. I think it took me a lot of places. People take a liking to it. They mightn't say anything, but people take a liking to it. I think having respect for your peers
Right.
is a huge thing. Just having respect for somebody that's younger than you, somebody that's older than you, and always have an open mind to learning new things. I learned one thing from my guy when I was my rookie year playing in Europe. And one day I went by his spot, we all went there, our teammates, and he was playing some Portuguese music.
Right.
I was like, dude, what you playing in here? He's from New York, Brooklyn.
Right.
And he was like, kid, when you get older, you can get to appreciate these small little things. And now you see me, every time you see me, I'm on a plane trying to travel and experience the world and do things I've never got to do, when I was an athlete, because it was just basketball. I mean, I had all this stuff to my free leisure, but I didn't appreciate it.
Television.
Yeah, being able to appreciate the small things, the little things. And as you get older, I'm 42 now. They say at 40, you're supposed to be living your best life.
Right.
From 40 to 50, I guess.
So how you feel? You living your best life?
Man, listen, I'm living good.
You just drive a Bentley, boy. The next time I see you in a plane, I can DM you. I can say, I tell you this. I tell you, you just drive a Bentley. The other day, so, you taking pictures by waterfalls and little raft and all kind of little weird things.
I think it's just, having the appreciation for family. I think the cornerstone of having a family is important for growth because, being able to provide and being able to love and being able to experience, hardship with these people, I think takes you a long way. Social media is a big thing. We might as well face it.
Right.
This is the new era
it is what
of
it is.
how we live our lives. Everybody is living their life a certain way based on what they can put on, a 24 by whatever frame. And I think it's just a perception now. People living this life where it's, perceived as I'm living good.
Right.
But in all actuality, their life is shit and, things are not going well.
Right, so they portray a different life.
Yeah, I think if you be 100% organic or who you is, what you trying to do, what you trying to build, it sets a presence. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people,
I think it's an agent calling for come back.
It's easy to just put things out there and then people look at you like, well, that's not you.
Right.
And then when people see that, then they wash their hands and be like, oh, you fake.
Right.
Just be 100.
Be who you are.
Be who you are. Be 100. Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Me, I have 2 businesses, multi-million-dollar businesses, but I still go and start another business washing cars.
You wash cars yourself?
Yeah.
I gotta see that.
Physically.
I gotta look on your
Physically.
IG.
And I'm on Saturdays taking headshots, photos. So I love doing that.
I just want to touch that right quick before you wrap up, because I think the guy in the back just blinked the lights a couple times.
Yeah.
You gotta wrap it up. Tell me about Jimmy Mackey.
Yeah.
Sorry, not Jimmy Mackey. Jimmy Mackey. Because I pronounce it like how I see you write it on the photos. Jimmy Mackey. So tell me about Jimmy Mackey, the photographer. And how did you get into photography?
Right. I think it started based on growing up. Growing up, there wasn't much images of me or family or, how I was raised. So, and then of course I have an artistic side.
You do?
Yeah, so I'm able to paint a portrait of somebody's face.
You can paint?
Yeah. I was kind of like an artistic kid growing up.
I got to bring you back because you have all kind of personalities. We got to do a part 2. We got to do a Jimmy Mackey podcast.
I think just being able to have an eye. In photography, you have to have an eye. And I think
can see the eye
being able to capture, moments. And I think pushing myself into just doing like simple portraits and headshots. I think, I enjoy doing that. I enjoy capturing that moment. So
I can see that you have an eye. Like I say, being in the gym with you and while you was, getting it all together and stuff and preparing to reopen after the pandemic and just visiting you and just shooting the shit. So you walking around the gym and with the drill and the nut and the pliers or whatever, doing whatever it is that needs to be done to make sure that your gym looks a particular way. And I can honestly say, go in there today. If I walk in there right now, versus when you first open, the gym looks exactly the same. There's no difference. There's nothing out of whack. There's nothing out of place. and you have built a culture within your gym, within your patrons,
Right.
that hey, listen, after you move this 45, put it back.
Yeah.
Because I've go to other gyms,
Yeah.
people they'll leave things lingering around.
Right.
But when they come to Markford, they know what time it is. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like you big and bad and
No,
bossy, but it's because of the fact that you set a standard.
Right.
And because it's like when you date a particular girl, you
Right.
treat her a particular way.
Right.
So when you come into Jimmy Mackey's
Yeah.
facility, you treat her a particular way because this is a standard that he set for himself.
Right.
He doesn't go around pointing his team members to do
No,
this and do
no,
that.
no.
He does it himself. He
Right.
leads by example. And I want you to, I want to, like I say, commend you for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people, we tend to dictate.
Right.
You know, you do
Right,
this, you do
right,
that,
right.
and this happens. But when you lead by example, I feel like your results are better.
Right.
And it shows you that me and you are about equal. We put on our shoe one foot at a time.
Right.
Put on our pants one leg at a time.
Yep.
And once again, like I said, I want to congratulate you for all your endeavors.
Thank you, man.
I have one 2008 Honda Acti.
Yeah.
2-tone white.
All right.
In the back.
Yeah.
I'm about to bring it by
Yes, sir.
what's the car wash name?
The Wash 360.
The Wash 360.
Yes, sir.
DA
Yeah, 360.
is DA, the wash or the wash. The.
Yeah.
You trying to read properly from Camp Road, but it's the wash, my boy. So I bring in my bus.
Right.
My bubble.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't want no palm olive.
I don't wash cars.
No.
I detail cars.
No palm olive.
No.
No Ajax.
No.
None of digs. My 2-tone
Yeah.
on 13s. I have
All right.
rims.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, they keep them clean though. I keep them clean. It's another end.
Right.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
a spot on podcast.
Yeah, but we got to do it again,
We got to do it again.
Yeah.
Right here. Travelers, we are Cigar Lounge. We're
Yes,
going to be
sir.
back. We can bring Jimmy back again
Yeah,
to talk
man.
about Jimmy Mackey and his photography and, you know, and the future of his swimmer.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
his son and his family. And I'm going to bring you back. I'm going to invite you here again when we talk about fatherhood.
Got you.
I'm going to be 4 or 5 of us on the panel.
Okay.
All fathers who have full-time jobs and who hustle.
Right.
Legit. The other day, I have a hat. So where you get a hat from? I said, somebody made it. My hat says, I hustle, they live.
Okay.
Team
In the back.
Ramsey.
Nice.
That's my family. That's my team. They live, I hustle.
Right.
They're there, I guess, with air conditioning cutting on, with TV they can watch. Me,
Right.
I guess I gotta balance out.
You gotta get
know?
it.
So being a father, we're gonna talk about that.
Yeah.
And running your own business and making sure we do what we didn't have.
Right. Right.
And how do we move forward? How do we continue to instill it in the young folks and
Bring
young
the-
guys, young men
Breaking the mold.
coming up today?
Right.
You know,
Yes, sir.
appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man.
Markford 360,
All day.
Jimmy Mackey Photography, The Car Wash 360.
Yeah.
What I miss?
What else?
That's
That's
it?
pretty much.
That's it?
And then my foundation.
And then the Jimmy Mackey Foundation.
Impact Foundation.
Yeah, I see you in a little boy, little sexy suit.
Yeah.
What that was?
Icon
Icon Award, yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I know one thing. by episode 16, if I ain't nominated for an Icon Award, I doing something wrong. I but dub everybody on here. Everybody. I know everybody, and you can't tell me no.
Right.
Because I can come on here and say, how you ain't tell me? How you tell me no? So I have
Yeah.
some upcoming guests. We have more fitness people coming on.
Yeah,
Fathers, wives. This is not a show just for men, but it's a show
For
for
everybody.
men.
Right.
I will invite women on the show. We're going to talk about different things. Marriage, family, the whole nine, man. Tune in. Our YouTube page. I'm going to put up all our podcasts very, very soon. Spot on podcast.
Right. Spot on podcast.
I'll send it to you. You can send it to all your little fans.
Yes, sir.
Put it in there. If we get any DMs with me, tell them I wake it on my body. Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
See you all next time. Spot on. Carlo, a.k.a. CeeLo.
Yes,
My
sir.
boy, Jimmy Mackey. Camp Road's finest.
You know it.